Well, today is Friday, March 1st. And as you can see, I'm on the road again, heading to the cabin. Got a couple things I want to work on. Cleaning the driveway again, but also I found one of the last roof rakes in town. Since we've had so much snow, most of the hardware stores and that have been out, but one store had a few in and I was able to snatch one, so I want to go up and pull a little of the snow off the roof of the cabin. And that, if everything works out alright. So it's supposed to be another cold weekend. I'm just going to stay for a couple days. I have Ludo with me, so he'll be able to run around a little bit and I'll have a little bit of company. Well, there's not too much snow from when I was here 2 weeks ago, so I'm gonna be able to drive in today and clean it up a little bit easier. You can see there are some drifts, but at least I can get off the road here. Not to say there isn't going to be some work, but this makes it a little bit easier to start with. So there looks to be about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches of snow since I was here 2 weeks ago. And blowing snow too, because there's some drifts and that on the driveway, but really it's not too bad. This is the first time this winter where I've been able to drive in, without having to clear the road out first. So that's always nice. So we'll get into the cabin here and start a fire and get the place heated up and start doing some snow blowing anyway. So it's 10 degrees inside the cabin. It's actually a little colder than I thought it might be, but it's been pretty chilly up here. So starting out at 10 degrees. And there's the outside thermometer. And it looks like right now it's 4 degrees outside. So not too far apart from inside and outside at this point. Some of you you might be wondering why I just threw some newspaper in there, and that's because the chimney is full of cold air, and so when you first start a fire it doesn't draft very good. So if you crumple up a little bit of newspaper first and get that burning, it'll heat that chimney, and then your stove will be able to draft a little better once you go to actually light the fire. Okay, we got the fire going, so that'll take a while obviously to get some heat generated, but between the electric baseboards in the other room and this one going now, we'll get some heat going in here, and by this afternoon it'll actually be probably comfortable enough to be in the cabin for a while.
Go.
I'm not sure if you can see this very well, but this is new since I was here a couple weeks ago on this dead popple here. It's kind of on the back side a little bit, but the pileated woodpecker's been hammering this dead popple here. I'm sure he or she is looking for critters, bugs, that sort of stuff. I got things pretty well cleared up. You saw I was using both the snowblower and the four-wheeler this time. It was warm enough, it started right up. You can move snow faster, but then I used the snowblower to kind of push those piles further back then. And of course it's snowing now. I think we're supposed to get 1 to 3 inches, so might have to do this all over again before I head back on Sunday. But like I say, I got it pretty well cleaned up right now. I don't think I've showed this before, at least specifically in a previous video, so I just wanted to take a minute to kind of show you the water situation here at the cabin. I don't have a well here on the property, so I bring my water from home, or I'll go to some of the neighbors if I need some occasionally, but most of the time I just bring water from home in these jugs and that, and I built this little stand here to raise the jugs up a little higher and be able to open the spigot and fill containers to heat up or to put in the sink. And then here in the winter, all I do is, you'll see the sink drain there into a 5-gallon pail. So the gray water from dishes, washing your hands, whatever, goes into the pail. And then I just haul the pail out, dump it in a couple of spots around the property, and that's how I dispose of the gray water. And maybe this summer I am going to fix another way to drain the gray water, but I need to do a little bit of work to have that happen, so we'll see if I do that or just continue to use the bucket method here, which seems to work pretty well. And like I say, it's just gray water, so dishwater, washing your hands, cleaning up occasionally with soap and water, that sort of thing. So I still have the wood stove going pretty good, trying to get that final push here to get everything heated up. So tonight I'll turn off the electric heat in the other part of the cabin, and then I'll be able to just use a wood stove and not have to use anything else to keep the place warm. Once it gets heated up, it doesn't take a whole lot to keep it that way. It's just, I haven't been here for a couple weeks, and like you saw at the beginning of this video, it was 10 degrees here inside the cabin. So everything's cold, and it does take a while to get that mass heated. But once it is up to kind of room temperature, it doesn't take a whole lot to maintain it then after that, especially in the log part. When I built this, I found out that the R value in the winter of logs is quite good, and once you get that mass heated up, it doesn't take much to maintain it. In the summer, the logs are actually cooler, and so it's a little cooler in a log building. So that's been something that's been pleasant to enjoy, and find that to be true, because like I say, once everything is heated, it doesn't take a whole lot to maintain it. I need to add some more water to the pan there on top of the stove, because it's already almost evaporated off that first pan, and it's really important to have that humidity, especially it's going to be cold here the next couple of evenings. So kind of like the desert, it's a dry heat. Well, here in the North Woods, it's a dry cold, I guess. So it's important to put some of that moisture back in to the cabin and try and keep it from drying you out. Good morning, folks. It's just after 7 here at the cabin. Sunrise was a bit ago, but just giving you a quick little view out towards the lake. You can see the sun coming up out on the across the snow there on the lake and that. So starting out to be a nice looking morning. So we just came in a bit ago from outside, and as you saw on the thermometer, 14 below, so the dog didn't want to spend too much time out there. It was a bit chilly, So when we got back in, he got his treat and his morning medicine, and where does he go but to the warm spot right in front of the wood stove. Besides the spot in front of the wood stove and the warmth, he just moved to his other favorite spot, which is up on the couch. Now, normally I haven't let pets up on the couch, but this is Steven's dog, and he raised him a little bit different. And the other thing up here at the cabin is, contrary to most people's homes, sometimes the floor is cool or cold here. So when I used to live up here many years ago, back in late 70s, I stayed in a small cabin, and in the morning the dog's water dish would be frozen. So that dog stayed up on, he was up on a chair, and that, even though, you know, a little bit higher up, it was warmer, but that cabin wasn't insulated and as well made as this place is. So I don't worry so much about the pets up on the couch, and that's why I have the blanket over it too, because then if people come, friends come or whatever, you can just pull the blanket off and it won't be full of dog hair. Here, come here, let's go. Here, get over here. Get over here. So yesterday when I was raking the roof, the camera died since it was quite chilly out, and actually it's colder today. It was 23 below zero when I woke up this morning, and now it's warmed up to 15 below like 3 hours later. So anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit about what was accomplished yesterday. So this side I got most of the snow. There's some ice up there yet from previous visits. I got quite a bit of snow off from the woodshed roof and the outhouse roof. We had a fatality on the roof rake. So this was the first time, as you saw, I put it together, and it actually broke on the woodshed roof, right where the bolt goes through into the handle and that. So I'm going to have to take that back and see if I can either get it replaced or refund my money. I like the rake. Obviously that's an issue if that's a weak spot. I think what I would do if I get another one is put some duct tape around and then punch a hole where the bolt goes through. Maybe that would give it a little bit more strength, but I guess we'll see what comes of it when I take it back to the store. So this roof had tons of snow on it. And I think it was more because of the northwest, northeast winds that blow was piling, stacking it up on this side. And in the valley here, there was quite a bit also. I got most of that off. And actually the snow was piled up almost to the roof here from what I pulled off, But then I took my shovel and scooped it out, and then took the snow blower here and blew it away off from the trail. I spent about 4 hours yesterday on roofs and snow blowing, but I feel like we got the majority of it off on these two sides. I didn't get anything on the back side of this edition, but I think we're okay yet. Hopefully it'll start warming up here one of these days and get some of this snow melting a little bit. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen for the next few days anyway.